On very much, and my wife and I don't get the opportunity to be around Navy family like we're so used to. So it's a real treat for me to share this evening with you. Thank you very much. Admiral Barabee, thank you for hosting me. And I want to share this with you. I up until the heroic things that are happening in Haiti right now with the Supply Corps, I had witnessed the single most heroic Supply Corps event until that time. I'll share this with you. Debo and I were ensigns and lieutenant JGs on the El Mendo Rivers a few years back, and we found ourselves doing a training exercise off the coast of Spain. And we had a group of SEALs were on shore, and he and I were on board, and we were going to go recover them. That was my role in the particular training event, was to go be part of the group that drove the Zodiacs in and got these guys off the beach. Well, he volunteered to, he said, "Hey, do you have hot chow to bring them?" "No, we didn't." "Great idea, let's bring the hot chow." "Well, we need a Supply Corps officer to deliver that hot chow." "That's a great idea, let's have a Supply Corps officer deliver that chow." So the submarine surfaces, it's pitch dark, the waves are crashing up over the deck of the submarine, and I could see his eyeballs about this big as we opened the hatch of our dry deck shelter to step onto the Zodiacs and shove off. He did it, he mustered it, jumped in the boat. It's supposed to be a 30-minute transit to the shore, an hour and 30 minutes, I think, later we finally get there. The chow was dry, the chow was hot, and he managed to keep it out of the way of his own projectiles. So the guys on shore got a hot chow, and he has a story to tell about it, and there's two people that exchange emails about that night every time we communicate. So Debo, thanks a lot for that. But in all seriousness, that set the tone for how much I appreciate the Supply Corps throughout my career in the SEAL teams. And if it wasn't for y'all, in conjunction with all of the Navy, we wouldn't be able to pull off what we do in our magnificent Navy, as demonstrated what's going on in Haiti right now. So thank you very much. Now I think I'll share a little about space with you. We all know what life is like as a Navy person, and I actually happen to remain active duty and stay, that's one of the questions I'm asked most frequently. How does it work between NASA and Navy? I'm still an active duty Navy person, getting my pay and leave and all that as I report to NASA, which I did in June of 2004, and reported there with my class of about 11 U.S. astronauts and 3 Japanese as we began our training in the 2-year period, as we call Astronaut Candidate, which everything at NASA has an acronym, and the acronym for Astronaut Candidate is ASCAN. So you can imagine our motivation to study hard and complete all the training objectives, so we no longer have to be called ASCANs. The training period is much like grad school or being in college, where we sit in classroom, get a lot of technical briefs on theory and things on space operations, and then we take that theory and go into the simulator and apply that in various levels of simulators. NASA, you can't just go to space to train for it, so you have to have very high fidelity simulators here on the ground, and we do that in Houston. From simple things like a desktop application that you can run to practice various parts of a mission, to one particular console, much like this podium, that has a few switches for one certain system on the space shuttle, up to a fully integrated cockpit that's on these gimbal mechanisms that as you move the control stick, the whole cockpit moves with where the windows are. There's visuals that you see as you do that particular input. So there's sort of a progression as you progress, as we get to the point where we're becoming full-fledged astronauts. And that period of time, we're doing the space shuttle and the space station and all integrating the training together. Now, a lot of people ask, what do you actually do in the simulator? Well, it's interesting, in the era of glass cockpits and paperless procedures, we actually do fly about 17 different volumes of paper checklists on the shuttle. And the challenge as a crew is to know which book to be in, which page to open to, and where to put your finger when you execute a problem. And I tell elementary school kids, imagine if you open your math book and this other kid opens their English book, you're both on page 79, but clearly you're reading the wrong information. And we can get ourselves in dire straits in the cockpit of the space shuttle if we get on the wrong sheet of music like that. So that's what's hammered over and over and over in these training simulators. And the training team is kind of like these evil people behind the curtain, where they lay awake at night trying to figure out what certain